Welcome back to a new campfire episode. When Helmut and I, we traveled around the world on motorcycles for over 5 years, and therefore we basically had to give up everything. And today we want to answer the one big question: was it really worth it?
Yeah, guys, we dive into the topic: what does it mean to give up everything, to leave everything behind? And of course, back then we had a certain imagination of how would life on the road look like.
Actually, a quite naive imagination.
Yes, looking back for sure. And we compare this with basically the reality. How was life on the road really?
And another question is, did we actually gain something in return? Maybe even something money can't buy. And did the travel change our perspective on success or on life in general?
Yeah, and one thing we were in search of was freedom. And soon we found out freedom has a price too. The big question is, was it worth paying that price?
And last but not least, the most important question: would we do it again? So don't waste any more time.
Let's dive
get
into
started.
it. Yeah, guys, first topic we want to dive in is, what does it mean to give everything up? What does it mean to leave everything behind? And in our case, well, it meant that we sold everything. And I mean literally everything. The only things that were left were basically the bits and pieces that were in the panniers of our motorcycle,
so
hanging around the motorcycle. 4 back then, because the panniers were a little bit bigger. And of course the motorcycles itself. So that was our whole life was in a bunch of
packed
panniers.
Into a couple of motorcycle panniers. Crazy, actually, crazy.
Absolutely crazy. So that was the first thing, selling everything. Then of course we had to give up our flat. We quitted our flat, our home basically. And the third step was quitting our career, our job.
And that was actually quite frightening, because with quitting our jobs, you also say goodbye to your regular income and to the safety net that comes with all of it. And it definitely wasn't the easy step in that moment.
But the last step, the hardest step, I would say,
most important one, yes.
Yeah, was leaving behind friends, family, colleagues. So our social life basically, because we knew we wouldn't see those people anymore for quite a long time. And we talk about 2010, so FaceTime and all that sort of stuff. The internet was not at the level like it is now, so it was a bit harder. Of course, we've been above the time when people were sending postcards or letters and it took 3 months and they could make a phone call once a year.
Back then.
It was easier,
yeah,
but still we knew, especially riding east towards Russia, Mongolia and those wild places, can we stay in touch with those people? And also,
anyway, it is different if you are there in person for a birthday, for whatsoever
how
occasion.
The relationship changes, friendships changes, because we've been away for such a long time.
Yeah.
So that
what is if we come back and there are no friends anymore? Maybe because so everything changed so much in the time we've been away.
A frightening thought as well. But besides giving up everything, we also had a certain imagination of how would life on the road look like. That was basically our drive, the
motivation, why we were willing to give up all this stuff.
And it was shaped, I would say, by television and
movies,
internet and all that sort of stuff. Like, we thought it's like biking, you know, like you have this beautiful girl on the back of your motorcycle and then you ride into the sunset on an endless highway to the next pub. You get pissed and
I think he gets confused. No, you have the imagination.
Maybe that was just my imagination.
Yeah, probably.
What was your imagination?
I think I was just curious about what the days bring when you just sit on the bike, ride somewhere where you haven't been before, explore the unknown, new landscapes, new cultures, new people.
She's quite complex.
I'm a woman. Well, of course you have a certain picture in mind how traveling around the world on a motorcycle would look like. But like I said, it was shaped by movies and
Hollywood.
By books, a bit by Hollywood, yes. And I wouldn't say that the reality was completely different, but
very. 95% was very different. Of course, we had days where we were riding into the sunset and we had the most beautiful campsites. I never had a half-naked girl on the back of my motorcycle, so there went something wrong. But most of the time, to be honest, it's hard work. It's not a vacation. It's not a holiday. So you have to face with different weather situations. It's hot, it's rainy, it's humid, it's foggy, it's snowy, whatever, cold. Yeah. Then, of course, breakdowns, motorcycle breaks down, you have to fix it on the side of the road, you have to find spare parts.
Bureaucracy, police maybe, visa,
immigration,
all that kind of stuff.
So it's actually hard work, and what we had to give up in the first place within basically the first day of travel was our routines, and that made it even more challenging, especially at the beginning.
Actually, that was quite interesting, because giving up your daily routine, for some it sounds like the ultimate freedom, but when you wake up in the morning and you have no idea where you sleep that night, that can be quite daunting, to be honest. And at least for us, when you're not used to it, it was quite frightening in the beginning. And you have to gain a certain gut feeling and again a certain routine of having no routine to start enjoying this kind of freedom. And that was an aspect we definitely didn't see coming when we dreamt about this trip.
In general, you can't prepare yourself for such a journey. Like, we are Germans, we prepared ourselves very well. We over-prepared and overthought and so on. But we had a couple of motorcycling friends that left basically at the same time around when we started on our trip around the world, and they quitted their flat, they sold everything, they've been in the newspaper and the television even and so on. They left home, rode 4 weeks wherever east, and then they figured out, well, that's not for me. Motorcycle traveling is not my cup of tea. And then they went back home and started ordinary life again. And to be honest, we didn't know if we would enjoy it. No, coming back to the imagination.
Yeah, like you said before, you imagine it's a never-ending motorcycle holiday trip. But it's definitely not. A lot of times it's hard work. You have to be willing to commit to this and push through maybe a lot of bad days in a row.
Challenges, but I have to say, very soon we found out that we absolutely fell in love with this kind of lifestyle, being on the road, facing these uncertainties, the challenges, and so on. And that is basically the reason why we've been on the road for such a long time.
Because if you don't enjoy it, you definitely wouldn't do it for such a long time.
Yeah, and I feel the most at home on the road.
Somewhere on the road, filthy and dirty, next to the bike.
That's my place.
Sounds weird for some, very likely, but for us that feels like home.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that actually brings us, I would say, straight to the topic, what did we basically gain during our journey? Something money maybe can't buy.
Let's start with the uncertainties. We talked about it already, and when you have to face them day after day, it definitely makes you more flexible and you gain a lot more confidence in dealing with all kinds of situations. And that not only helps during the travel, but also with everything life throws on you in your everyday life. But what we also found out is to rely more on ourselves. Let's say we're somewhere in Mongolia, so there is no one that makes a decision for you. You have to make your decision and you have to live with the consequences. There is no one to blame. Well, maybe I can blame him.
That's what he does usually. Or in general, I blame you and he blames me, and that's how a relationship works, no?
I'm not sure about it. Well, anyway, that definitely helps you gain a lot more confidence. Again, trust in your abilities, in your gut feeling, and that not only helps during the travel, but again, also in your everyday life.
Yeah, right. And it didn't take so long to become a lot more aware of things. Time is more valuable than possessions, experiences more than things. And we also quickly found out that the world in general is a great place. Humans are great, despite the news you might hear every day.
All the ordinary people we met, they all wanted the same, no matter what religion, what color, what country they are in. They want a happy and safe life for themselves and for the children. So basically, the same stuff we want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we had so many really touching human encounters. Sometimes we just met someone who helped us out on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere, gave us fuel, met him for 5 minutes. Other people we stayed for a night or a week or even a month. And this kindness that just changed our perspective on humans, our perspective on life in general and what matters, then that is something, that is a very special gift, I would say.
Something you definitely can't buy with money.
No, absolutely not.
You have to experience it and learn from it.
Yeah. And of course, we also learned to be a lot more resourceful, and we found out how little you actually need to have a very happy and fulfilling life.
3 Andis.
Four. We had 4 Andis on this journey.
Okay, so see, we need 4 Andis to have a happy and fulfilling life. Woohoo!
Well, that takes us right to the next topic, and that is, how did this journey actually change our perspective or our definition of success in life? And I would say, before we left, we grew up in German society, had an ordinary German life, and there I would say success is defined by a big house, a nice car, a career, money, and a lot of security.
Yeah.
And that changed basically during our journey, or even more so afterwards. And nowadays, success for us means freedom, time, experiences, encounters with people, but also to decide every day what we want to do, how we want to spend our lives. And the big question is, if you are able to buy basically anything, but you have no time to enjoy it, does it actually make you richer?
Well, and that brings us to our second last topic for today, and that's freedom. And the uncomfortable truth is, freedom isn't for free. Also, freedom comes with a price. And the question is it worth paying it? I mean, at first glance, freedom sounds awesome. There's no one that tells you when to get up in the morning, no one that tells you what to do during the day, actually no one that tells you what to do with your whole life. But to be honest, freedom comes with a massive responsibility, and that's a responsibility to make your own decisions and to live with the consequences, because there is no boss to blame. It's just you or him.
Me.
And sometimes you might even miss the stability and the routine you deliberately walked away in the first place.
Yeah, I would say freedom is a massive big topic. Someone wants to have maybe this amount of freedom, and someone else maybe wants to achieve this amount of freedom. I think it depends a lot on the person and how it can handle this massive amount of freedom. That actually brings me to a little story we encountered quite a few times during our motorcycle world trip, and now again with the 𝗬𝗪cc adventure throughout Australia. As I mentioned earlier, we met quite a few people randomly, somewhere on the road, gas station, wherever, and we started talking to them. And from the conversation, after a while, we could tell that those people were quite wealthy. They basically could buy anything money can buy. But we also had the feeling with some of them that they envied us. And I mean, imagine...
Which is actually quite crazy at first glance.
Yeah, at the first glance, like we had 50-year-old 𝗬𝗪cc mopeds. We had absolutely well-used bags, luggage system. We've been filthy and dirty from top to bottom. So obviously we had very little. But for some reason, our setup represented something to them they couldn't buy. And that was the topic, freedom. Basically, we could go anywhere with our little mopeds. We pitched up our tent, stayed there for the night. In the morning, we got our stuff packed and we went somewhere else. Of course, it's not that easy. We have obligations and responsibilities as well. But at least at that point with the conversation, that's what they saw in us. Yeah? But of course, with more money and more things, usually there comes more obligations, more responsibilities, and also the urge
to protect, because the more you have, the more you're worried to lose everything again. So
yeah, and that limits you. So this means you have less and less freedom. That doesn't mean that money is bad. Yeah, money helps you to gain freedom, to maintain freedom. But if you just chase money for the money's sake, then you have less and less freedom. And that was a very interesting learning, a very interesting experience for us during this travel.
And that perfectly brings us to the very last question of today's campfire talk. We talked quite a while and quite deeply, I think, today. But the most important question is, would we do it again? Would we again sell everything, give up our safety net, our normal life, and travel the world on old motorcycles?
I guess we answered it already. We said earlier in this episode that we feel the most at home on the road. And that's still the case. We love to face the unexpected, to not know what happens next, where do we sleep, what do we eat, the people we meet, and so on. That's something that makes our life richer and exciting as well.
And you have to say, we also went through the process of quitting everything and leaving our normal life behind twice now. And I think it gets easier.
We get used to it.
It definitely gets easier.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have done it a second time now for the big Australia trip if we wouldn't have enjoyed the first one, or if we would have regretted doing it in the first place.
Yeah. But we have to admit as well, at some point we can feel the desire that we would like to have a sort of a home base. We don't know where yet.
Or at least a place to come back to.
Yeah.
I think that's something we learned to value over the years. Because even if we love traveling still, and I'm definitely not finished on exploring the world with 2 wheels, the constant travel and the constant moving from one place to another, at some point, at least we started missing a place where you actually can come back every time, and it's just yours, like
and
you
call
said.
home.
Yeah, and call home.
Yeah.
So we haven't found this place yet. Who knows where it will be?
Well, and another question you guys might be interested at the very end is, did this way of traveling make us happier?
Very good question. And the answer is probably quite interesting, because it definitely did not make us happier if you think we get up in the morning and we smile all day and everything is so fine.
It's not an Instagram life.
Not, no, it's definitely not. You definitely have your ups and downs. But what changed over time is definitely that we started valuing the little things more.
And I would say as well, we are very grateful and we are very lucky to do something we enjoy. I mean, those episodes, especially the adventure episodes, they are a massive project, a massive amount of work. But when I see the story coming together, it's something that really fulfills me. So first of all, the travel, the adventure beforehand already fulfilled me. That's something I absolutely love. And now seeing those stories on a screen and seeing the story coming together as I have it imagined, that's something that fulfills me as well, and that makes me happy.
Even you have to say, even if you put in a lot more hours and work than we had in our former jobs, it's just different, because you do something you're passionate about, something you love, and something you see a value in it, a true value. It's
kind of a legacy of maybe our lives, I don't know, but it's something I absolutely enjoy. So therefore, yes, it makes us happier. Is it easier? No. For sure not. It's not comfortable. It's not safe or secure, this way of life. It's exhausting quite often. It's very, very exhausting in a positive way. But that again makes life so livable.
Yeah, that's the moments you remember most. When you are out there somewhere facing a tough challenge, that's the moments you remember later. It's not sitting on the couch, Netflixing the whole day. That's not the moments you remember. And if you would ask our advice, if you should
travel the world.
Yeah.
Then we would say, yes,
yes and no.
If that's your dream, go for it. Don't overthink it. Don't be afraid of it. Just take the first step and have the journey of your dreams of your lifetime. But if your dream is to raise a family, to build a house, to pursue a successful career, whatever it is in life, go for it. It doesn't mean traveling is the only way that gives you to gain freedom and gives you a happy life. For sure not. Everyone is different, so everyone has to pursue their own dream. Yeah guys, and that's pretty much the end of this episode. Next time we're gonna see you again on a campfire episode, different topic, and after that there's a little bit of adventure coming up again. We push hard to keep up with the editing of the adventure episode, but it's just such a massive project, so we have to postpone the next episode a little bit. But that's actually a quite beautiful one. See you next week. Campfire again.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Cheers.
See you guys.